Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you, for the most part, what you will need before you maiden your new aircraft. Let's go to the first thing. The first thing you're gonna need is you're gonna need to pull your aircraft out of storage. So that could be if you took the wings off, you get the wings. If you need a spar for the wings, maybe it's inside your aircraft. Make sure you have the wing screws and holder. And make sure there's nothing inside the hatch of your aircraft. Like, I was not very smart and I left my battery in there, but at least the battery is where I want it. Alright, let's go on to the next thing. Okay, the next thing here is a case you could put a charger and a battery. This is a Z fireproof case I got for $15 on Amazon. This is just where I keep my batteries for all sorts of different vehicles and everything. But this is pretty highly recommended, and it's just great for safety, and it's also just a nice place to put your batteries. Okay, let's go on to the next thing. Okay, this next thing right here that I'd recommend is have a solid box or a kit that you could have to carry what you need. Again, like, it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. So come prepared. Yeah. So what I have in here, I have a couple spare receivers, and this is one of the most important things you could bring. It's some Gorilla Glue. In the bigger part, I just have some spare landing gear and a whole bunch of radios I don't use. Again, this is pretty important. Like, you don't have to have something super expensive. I just found this at the thrift shop for $10. Alright, next thing. The next thing you're gonna want is a solid transmitter. Again, you don't have to spend too much money on this. I got this for $20 at a swap meet. This is an older Futaba T6K 8-channel edition with quick bind. Its programming is not the same as Spectrum. It still has some options, but you can't do quite as much as a modern Spectrum. I would also highly recommend a battery checker. I decided to Velcro this to the back of my radio, so it's going to be harder to lose. And so when I'm running over to my plane to check my battery, I have it with me. Next thing, you are going to want a solid toolkit. This is a little disorganized, but just basically what you need. This for prop nuts. My Turbo Timber Evo mostly uses Phillips, but you also want some hex hardware. You don't have to spend too much on this. I think this is about $25 on Amazon. Alright, next thing. Our next big steps here are going to be preparing the aircraft for flight. So for this aircraft, you want to take the wing screws off one by one here. I just kept the screws in the mount on in this case. And then if you have the spar stored inside your aircraft, you want to take that out and then get your wings ready. This specific model of the Turbo Timber Evo has quick connect for all the leads and stuff, so that's super helpful. I know not all aircraft have this, but it's just a nice extra feature to have. Okay, I decided to put my wings on with this aircraft. Now, depending on the size of vehicle that you're taking this to fly, you can have the wings on. That is also my case, but I just have the wings on for demonstration. The first thing you're going to want to do is turn on your radio. You want to always turn your radio on before the aircraft. And then you want to plug the aircraft in. There we go. Now, you always want to have the propeller faced away from yourself. It's just a good rule of thumb. I'm going to put the canopy on here. Now you want to check your control surfaces. So check your rudder. I have my rudder on 150% rates. And then you want to check your elevator. I also have this on 150. Then you want to check your ailerons. And then if you have flaps on your aircraft, you want to see if those are working smoothly too. With the radio I am using, I cannot set a delay for the flaps. It's just instant. If you have a gyro, you want to pick your plane up and see if it behaves correctly to the gyro. I do not have a gyro on my aircraft. Now, you want to flip the aircraft over. You want to see if your landing gear, if it does have springs, if that is behaving properly. This is something you can check visually, but you want to see if all your lights are working. Lights are not life or death necessarily, but if you are flying in the night, or you just live in a darker place, then I would highly recommend for you to check your lights on your aircraft. This is important for tail draggers. You want to check your tail wheel, and when you apply rudder input, if the tail wheel behaves properly. You also want to check if your tail wheel has proper suspension. And again, if your front gear has proper suspension. I have not flown this aircraft yet, and it has some minor blemishes and hanger rash, but that is all right. That's not something you need to be super worried about. You want to check if your hatch is going to be secured in flight. This hatch on this particular model is magnetic. I'm not super worried about it detaching, but it's something to be aware of. Now for the exciting but scary part. You want to secure the rear of your aircraft with your feet, and then you want to test your throttle. Nice. All right. Now with all of that, I believe you should be ready to maiden your aircraft. Like and subscribe for the maiden of this video. Thank you.